365 Days of Guitar Chords. It is March 22nd, and they sent me an easy one, A7, or otherwise known as A dominant 7, which is sometimes written like that, though not very often. And it is simply an A major chord, only you play the A major part of the chord with your index finger barred across, which is why I drew that line there. And that frees up your middle finger to play the high string on the 3rd fret, which adds the flat 7th note to an A major chord to create a dominant 7. A dominant 7th is an A major chord with an additional minor 7th. You can hear how A7 sounds a little more tense than A6. Try playing A7, A6, then resolving to an open A major, which I just did. The notes are A, C sharp, E, and G. So here you go. There's your A major. The 1st, the 5th. Whoops, the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. La, la, la. And then you add the flat 7th. Not the major 7th, which would make it an A major 7 chord. This is the part of the nomenclature that is sort of just kind of strangely doesn't make sense. You would think that the regular major 7th would just be called A7 and that the dominant 7 would be referred to as dominant 7 all the time. But we've decided to go with, when you don't use a word like major or dominant, it's dominant. And you have to say major 7th if you want a major 7. So that's A major 7. That's A dominant 7. It's like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, don't add, you add te. Make sense? Anyway, I'm thinking of 3 different scenarios in which this chord works, 3 different contexts. If you're playing A major as your home chord and turning it into a dominant 7, then you're using a note that's not in the key of A major. So you might be playing the blues, because the blues uses elements of both minor and major to get its bluesy sound. So you've got that flat 7 in there, but then one of the instruments in your band would likely be playing the minor 3rd sometimes. You're not playing an A minor chord, but that minor note is getting played by someone or sung by someone to create the blues. Hear all that bluesy stuff. You might be finger picking and playing kind of an old farmery bluesy kind of thing, a real gritty rural kind of blues thing. So that would be one reason why your A dominant 7 is showing up. Another reason, if your A is the home chord, you might be doing something modal, sort of a hippie jam band thing in what is called the Mixolydian mode, where you're major-ish, but when you get to that note, you play that one instead of the major 7. There is a famous Grateful Dead song called China Cat Sunflower, where it sits on that chord for quite some time. Look for a while at the China Cat Sunflower in the jingle of the midnight sun. It's something like that, but you can kind of hear that hippie energy. And then there's just the regular fact that if the A7 is appearing in the song, then it might be the 5 chord in the key of D. You'd be going from, say, the 5 chord, or the 1 chord, home chord is D. You go to the 4 chord G, and you can see that in G, you got your finger right there. Well, that same note, if you just leave it there when you go to A, it's A7. A7.